YouTube? I'm Ludon, aka some random bald black guy from Florida. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Ludon the Movie Guy, and today you're tuning into a series on my channel that I like to call Movie Time. It's a show here on my beautiful channel where I talk about movies both new and old. Whatever movies I feel like talking about, I just yap about them on here. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about the much anticipated Spider-Man Brand New Day. And it's a pretty good movie, so instead of wasting your time, let's get straight to the review. As you might notice, this isn't the same apartment that I've been recording reviews in for the past like 2 years, and this is a new camera that my friend gave to me. So yeah, thank you to my homeboy who gave me the camera. Alright, back to the Spider-Man review. First thing I want to say though, this movie is shot beautifully. Like, it looks like it jumped off the pages of a Spider-Man trade paperback. The Spider-Man that I connect to the most in the comics personally is Ultimate Spidey, written by Brian Michael Bendis and drawn by Mark Bagley. I love that run of the character because he's so lanky, young, and youthful, and like the way the pages are drawn is just, it's beautiful. And I feel like this film encapsulates my favorite parts of Spider-Man comics whenever I read them, because it literally recreates a fuck ton of different covers in one really awesome montage. But besides that, it's just shot in a certain way, and it even has like its own unique shots, not similar to any of the comics I could think of. Like, I was literally just looking at the screen like, whoa. I feel like from a directorial perspective, the last couple MCU films have been directed very beautifully, and this can definitely be added to that. So that's one of my many praises for this movie. Another compliment I can give the movie without spoiling any of it is just how effortlessly it juggles different plot lines and different characters without feeling overstuffed, like, at all. My main worry going into this film, because of a lot of the advertising showing a bunch of different characters, was like a Spider-Man 3 or TASM 2 type thing. I recently marathoned all the Spider-Man movies with my friends, all the live action ones that is, and my main problem, especially with TASM 2 and Spider-Man 3, is that they just feel overstuffed. They take away all of the attention from Spidey and give it to all of the other characters, and the movie like fails as a result of that. Also, the characters those movies use are good in the comics, but they're adapted in strange, sometimes unfitting ways. Like Sandman in Spider-Man 3 is cool, but Venom in Spider-Man 3, nah. And almost all of the villains in TASM 2 are just kind of doo-doo water. I'm not apologizing for that take. TASM 2 is kind of ass. That's besides the point. We're talking about Brand New Day. Spider-Man interacts with so many different characters from the Marvel Universe, and it doesn't feel cluttered or overstuffed. It actually just feels wide, grand, and fucking, like, just extremely engaging to watch. There wasn't a moment in this movie when I was bored, really, even though it's on the longer side. I think it's one of the longest live-action Spider-Man movies. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it might be second to No Way Home. The last thing I want to leave off on before spoiling the shit out of this movie is just how much passion Tom has for the character and how much that bleeds into every aspect of this film, because Tom Holland has been doing this the longest out of almost every Spider-Man we've had. He's been doing this for 10 years straight, and I don't think any part of his performance has gotten worse. In fact, across every movie he's been in, he's only gotten better and better. Tom is one of those actors to me. If I see his name attached to a project, I'm gonna check it out. Like, there's no way I won't. Him, Rob Pattinson, Daniel Radcliffe, I guess it's just British dudes. I don't know. They just kind of lock in when it comes to acting. But Tom Holland is honestly a national treasure, and he did an amazing job as Spidey in this movie. So yeah, I'm going to stop the non-spoiler segment. I'm sure you want to hear what I have to say about... I'm going to censor that name because that was a spoiler. I'm sure you want to hear what I have to say about all of the spoiler aspects of this movie, and there are a lot. So let's just get straight to that. Spoiler time? Okay, before I get started, this is your last and final spoiler warning, so if you haven't seen the movie, I'm gonna spoil it right now. 3, 2, 1, Sadie Sink plays Jean Grey. This is a prediction I actually made when I saw her get cast, because there's only so few redheads in the Marvel Universe, honestly. And the one thing I'm gonna say about her performance as Jean Grey is not only is she the main villain, which is something that I don't necessarily think of when I think of Jean. And to be quite frank with you, I love the X-Men, but I don't really know shit about Jean, so I can't really speak on her too much. All I'm gonna say is from what I've seen in previous X-Men movies, and in this movie, this version of Jean is the most compelling version of her that I've seen cinematically ever. The main conflict of this movie has a lot to do with the Department of Damage Control, which has been around since Homecoming, or technically the end of the first Avengers movie. It's really nice how the Tom Holland movies like loop back into each other through the damage control thing. I find that cool. But Jean Grey's inclusion in the plot is great. And she serves the film really well as a villain that can kind of match Peter's level of trauma, which I like. She peers into Peter's mind at a lot of different points during the story, and she can never quite get in there because Peter has the spider sense and Peter just pushes her out. Those scenes, especially one reoccurring flashback between Peter and Aunt May that we see, got me really emotional in the theater, especially during the final battle where Peter like empathizes completely with Jean and apologizes for the way he treated her. The major crux of the plot that leads Peter to treat Jean in the way he does is the fact that Peter himself is mutating further into his weird arachnid state. We don't physically see Peter get bit by the spider in the MCU, which is something I low-key wish we did. I don't know why. I guess it's just because I've marathoned all of the movies recently, but we see Andrew get bit, we see Toby get bit. I wish we got to see a flashback where Tom got bit. Regardless, his character growth is insane, and Aunt May's death is clearly taking a big-ass toll on him, which is present throughout all of this movie. But let me get back to all of the things I can spoil, like back to back. So Sadie Sink playing Jean Grey, she's amazing in that role, as usual, because Sadie Sink is awesome. Yelena actually shows up as Black Widow for a little bit in like a weirdly sexy bath scene where it's like Yelena just chilling. She invites Spider-Man over because Spider-Man is trying to get intel on whoever this mind reader could be. And Yelena, come on, she's dealt with mind readers, you know, like whatever was going on in the Red Room. I don't remember the movie Black Widow. I honestly don't really want to remember that movie. And she's also dealt with Bob, so yeah, she knows her shit when it comes to mind control people, basically. So I get why Peter goes to her. And there's a really funny scene where you see Tom Holland's feet. Sounds kind of like a fetish type thing, but I don't know. Someone's definitely gonna screenshot Spider-Man's feet and post it all over the internet. Oh wait, that already happened. Anyways, Yelena's in this. What's another spoiler? Hulk, he was all over the advertising though, but the fight with the Hulk is honestly really funny. And I mean that just in the way Punisher reacts. That's the only part that's funny about it. Cause it's fucked up for Bruce, cause now Bruce is stuck in his psychiatric ward. We haven't seen the actual savage version of the Hulk come out since literally, I don't think, Ragnarok. And I feel so bad for Bruce, cause every time the Savage Hulk comes out, it's because of some fuck-ass mind reader. Like last time it was Scarlet Witch making him tweak out in Age of Ultron, and now Jean gets in his brain because Bruce has had a handle on this for a minute. I don't know why I'm talking about the Hulk a lot in a Spider-Man review. I'm just a big Hulk fan. Anyways, the part that's very funny about the fight itself is the fact that Punisher almost immediately pussies out when he shoots the Hulk and empties his entire mag into the Hulk and nothing happens, and then Hulk just shatters the ground and Frank Castle goes, "Oh shit." But besides those standout moments, I think my favorite part of the film overall is how they handle Peter's trauma, especially with the scenes between him, MJ, and Ned. And another thing I love about this film is the fact that Peter has the suit on more than almost any other version of Spidey, I think, live action wise. I feel like this film is similar to the Batman 2022 in that way, where it feels like a definitive take on the character. Both of those movies have this specific part in common, which I love, which is the fact that both of their titular characters are in the masks constantly, and they both, Spider-Man and Batman in their respective films, both, you know, embody those like the drive it takes to be a superhero. Because Spider-Man, especially in this movie, is like just completely dedicated to his job. He's so hyper focused on his job that he constantly stresses himself out, but that's only because of how lonely he is. Maybe I'm just sad, but I like seeing loneliness explored in things, and I love it when Spider-Man is lonely. I'm sorry. I'm just really glad that Peter Parker is broke and depressed again. This movie balances all of its characters and plot lines like with such grace. It's like it's so strangely effortless. Given how much trouble Spider-Man movies have had in the past balancing different plot lines and different characters, this movie handles all of that so beautifully. Like, I just listed a fuck ton of characters earlier. You heard me say Jean Grey, Hulk, Punisher, Yelena, and Spidey. And the focus never loses Spidey. And that's just because of how strong the movie is at articulating the emotions that Peter is going through and how palpable those emotions are because of Tom Holland's amazing performance. Tom Holland has grown so much as an actor while playing this character. He's honestly grown up with this character, and you can see it in his eyes almost. Spider-Man is a part of Tom Holland at this point, and because of that, he brings such raw emotion to the character, which makes it so easy to connect with him in the scenes where he's with MJ and he's breaking down about the fact that he loves this woman who doesn't remember him at all, or the scenes, you know, where he's with Ned trying to build a friendship with someone who doesn't remember him. Those scenes are so heartbreaking, and I was always emotional every time I saw Peter make contact with his friends. Another reason I think I got so emotional was the fact that this version of Peter is so close in age to myself. So watching his movies almost felt like I was in high school with him, and now that he's broken an adult, I'm also a broke adult. So it's just like, I love it, man. I gotta say, they really make Spidey feel like he's just one part in an amazingly huge universe without getting lost in that universe, which I think is perfection for the character, because Spider-Man has always been that. Spider-Man has always been in the friendly neighborhood while everyone else is battling aliens. His interactions with Frank Castle in this movie stand out to me a lot, honestly. Like, I love his relationship with the Punisher. Punisher has a respect for men like Daredevil, and he even has a respect for Spidey, even though he views Spidey as kind of a kid because he constantly calls him kid. great throughout the movie. There's a scene near the end of the movie after the climax where Spidey fights the Hand, gets to Jean Grey as Jean Grey is about to blow up and crash out on everybody. Rightfully, Jean Grey's motivation is so solid in this movie that I like genuinely wanted her to kind of kill everyone. Actually, that's a lie. That'd be fucked up. But like, I understood where she was coming from. These people captured her sister and tortured her to death, essentially. And now she's there and realizes exactly what's going on. In her sister's final moments, her sister sent a telepathic message to Jean about something called VMAX. Jean was obviously expecting VMAX to be this facility full of different mutants and people that were held under captivity by damage control. But instead, VMAX is the air conditioner unit that her sister saw right before she died. And the writing for her is brilliant, and Sadie Sink is always good. Like, she was honestly the best part of that shitty last Stranger Things season. But to wrap everything up, I just think, like, the way they juggle Tom's Peter with all of his own problems, and the way they juggle him as Spider-Man with all of these other heroes, it's great. At the end of the movie, he does his signature handshake with Ned, and Ned has a moment of recognition with him. At first, in the theater, I was like, damn, that's kind of cheap. But in hindsight, I don't know, there's just something so wholesome and nice about the fact that his friend might actually remember him and that he might be able to make that connection again. And I fucking love that. So overall, I think Spider-Man Brand New Day is a very emotionally hitting Spider-Man story that hits me on a lot of levels while providing a nice amount of fan service. But I do have to say, I'm not sure if it's better than Spider-Man 2, because Spider-Man 2 is my favorite Spider-Man film, live action wise, of all time. It's definitely not better than Spider-Verse movies, but I'll have to let it sit for a little longer in my brain to decide if it's better than Spider-Man 2 or not. From all of the live action Spider-Man films, it's definitely in the top 3 to me. So I'm gonna give Spider-Man Brand New Day a 9 out of 10. Solid ass Spider-Man movie that I will probably be revisiting a lot during the years. Okay, that's it. That's the review. Okay, yeah, if you enjoyed this review, thank you. That's nice. Thank you for watching the video, you know. I mean, I appreciate you for taking like 10 minutes out of your day and listening to me yap about Spider-Man. It's cool. Appreciate it. Besides that, if you want to see more of me, you can check out my...
That review sucked.
That was my roommate Jeremiah who recorded the gameplay for this video because I am not that good at Spider-Man. And he just crashed the review. Anyways, if you want to see more of me, you can watch the short films or skits up on this YouTube channel. Or the other movie reviews. It's up to you. You have free will, so do what you want. Besides that, you can check out my letterbox with movie reviews that I type almost immediately after I watch a movie because I am addicted to that app. Or you can check out my Instagram where I post the films I'm working on and a bunch of other stuff because I'm also a filmmaker in addition to being a dude who talks about movies on YouTube. Besides that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, Spider-Man forever. Bye-bye.
Frank, you just hit me with a van!
Quit your whimpering.